Being left for dead is not always the end. For some, it's only a shift to something else. For the others, being left for dead means that you're no more. But in this case, it just means that you've moved on. Bill Overbeck was left for dead. An elderly man forced to spend his days fighting hordes of undead. A much-needed savior to his group, and an unrelenting wave of destruction for the flesh-eaters. For Bill, the final sacrifice would prove to be quite a surprise. Instead of the plain and well-deserved quiet of death, he woke up to a whole new world of pain and suffering, and new people to save in a strange place where the sacrifices are never enough. Bill Overbeck is tough as nails. He knows how to pull through just about anything, and he's not afraid to put himself in danger if he has a chance to save someone. Bill comes with 3 perks. The first one is Left Behind. If you're the last person remaining in the trial, for each generator left to be completed, gain a bonus to repair speed. The second perk is called Borrowed Time. Once per trial, when saving an ally from a hook within the killer's terror radius, any damage taken that would put you or the unhooked survivor in the dying state will be delayed. The final perk is Unbreakable. Past battles have taught you a thing or two about survival. Unbreakable grants the ability to fully recover from the dying state once per trial. Everyone has a purpose that keeps them going. For Bill, that purpose is the call to help others, no matter what the situation is, into the dark with no salvation in sight. He just keeps putting one foot in front of the other. There's work to be done. Dead by Daylight, Left Behind is released on March 8 for free.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. So we don't have any Mathieu today, so we have a new face actually.
Nice to meet you.
So Stefan, how is he called?
The producer
Gatekeeper.
or gatekeeper.
Yeah, the gatekeeper. You might know him as the gatekeeper. Yeah, and Sarah is with us today. UI designer, obviously. So if you have any questions about that, please do. We'll look at new UI and menus today. Actually, that's gonna be fun. And myself, yes, you know me. All right, let's start. Oh, I forgot. We have Bjorn back there. Always thank you, Bjorn. And let me check who do we have today as mods. Isaiah is here. DL6 Incident? Who's that? I don't know who's that. I don't know who's that.
Thank you, DL6 Incident,
yeah, thank
to
you.
be here with us.
Murph, Sassy, and Suggestive. Thank you for being there with your swords ready. All right. News and announcement. So PAX is this weekend. It's starting tomorrow, actually. And Dead by Daylight is going to be there. So if you have the chance to go to PAX and look at what we've cooked up for you, we have some surprise there. So the game that we're bringing with us is the PS4 version of the port. And there's all the new menus and the full controller support in there as well, something that you'll be able to see and to try. That's not the most exciting part, sorry, Sarah, but I mean...
It's still pretty cool, though.
It's still pretty cool. It's still pretty cool. Well, I mean, no, they're pretty cool. The menus have been raised in awesomeness, you'll see. But also there is a test mechanic that has been put in there, which we dubbed the weekend mechanic. It's a temporary name, okay, but let's call it like that for now, and we'll explain later what it is. Remind me if I forget to explain what it is. But when we talk about game changes, we can talk about this mechanic. Something that Survivor will love. Not really. No, it's a cool thing. Okay, that's it. No, that's not it. There's the Twitch Horror Weekend. It's a Korean event that's going to be 10 to 12 March, so this weekend as well. So you can check that out if you're in that part of the world. And of course, most important news today is that we just released, as you just saw in the video, if you haven't seen it or already downloaded it, a free DLC, a free content actually, for Left 4 Dead crossover. So you have four different skins for the survivors and a completely playable survivor, Bill, now available with his unique perks.
It's quite exciting.
It is very exciting.
We had to stay silent for a long while with regards to that, and we were happy to finally unleash the beast yesterday.
Absolutely. I'm glad that it didn't leak at all. We were pretty good with this, and even someone sent me on Reddit like a couple of stream ago. Matt did a little doodle on his.
So bad at him.
I did too. I was like, "Don't do that! I'm gonna leak the thing." And it was like some sort of a symbol, but really it spells L4D, and it's kind of obvious now when we see it.
After the fact.
After
It wasn't
the fact,
that,
yeah.
that
But,
bad on the
no.
spot, but...
No,
Oh, I'm pretty sure there were a couple Reddit people who were like, "What if it's Left 4 Dead?"
Exactly.
Nah, shut that down right away.
Not true, anything's happening. Okay, so things that you should not expect is a Left 4 Dead killer and a Left 4 Dead map. That's not part of the deal. So actually, we should go through the details of Left 4 Dead, just to be sure everyone knows what's in there. Let's start with the survivor images, the Left 4 Dead content images. If you can pop that up, please, for us. So I asked the team to get all the images about Left 4 Dead and just put that in a folder so that we can look at them. So this is Bill, obviously. So Bill is fully playable with 3 different perks. We'll talk about them just after this. Next one, please. You have Claudette as Rochelle. So 3 pieces of customization for her and an empty holster, of course. Dwight as Hellis, which I think is a perfect fit. It's really suggestive dream. Next one. This one is always funny for me. So Jake as Francis. No, Francis is like the biggest Left 4 Dead character ever. He's huge. He's so large. So it's kind of funny as Jake because he's kind of thin. But still, he's really cool. So 3 customization piece again. And last one, perfect fit again. Meg as Zoe. This is perfect with ponytail in Apex, so it dingles around. Dingles.
Oh,
not
no.
thing. It's the same thing, right? Well, that's it. It's goofy. This is awesome art by Mathieu Levert, so marketing art for this Left 4 Dead content. Bill is really cool on that. And this is one that is really funny. So it's the Left 4 Dead survivors dressed as our survivor in our game. So this is one of the very first images we've built when we started talking about the crossover. Here is a first pass of what we were trying to accomplish. So we're trying different outfits on different characters. So as you can see, Nia could have been Francis.
Like Bill. Bill
Jake,
could have been nothing.
Bill could have been not a survivor at all. Dwight as Lewis. Nick as Ace obviously would have been a great fit. But in the end, we had to decide just on the 4 survivor skin. And one survivor, one playable survivor. Another pass. Again, Nia was still a possibility at that point. And in the end, this is the last concept which we used. There you go. So this is the story of the characters. So what's in there as well? Yes, so with all this comes 2 exclusive shirts, which some of you already have. So if you want to explain how to unlock these shirts? The red and the
Definitely.
black one?
Basically, we created 2 sets of shirts for Dwight, Jake, Claudette, Meg, and Nia. There's a red set of shirts you'll be able to get if you own the Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2 game on Steam. And there's a second one that's a black shirt, basically inverted from the other one, for the same 5 characters that you will be able to obtain should you join the Dead by Daylight community on Steam. This is not fully implemented right now in the game. We're looking into fixing that and pushing that live as soon as possible, and we will communicate with everyone once it's available. In all cases, you should see the customization pieces available in the game as soon as the game supports it.
It's automatic. So if you already are part of the community, if you join the Dead by Daylight community right now, if you already did it, or if you do it after this comes live, then you will receive that shirt. This is exciting because it's the first time we do this, but then it opens the door to do that more often. So if you keep being a member of the community on Steam, you'll receive more goodies like that. Very quickly, Bill's perk. Well, actually, they were explained in the spotlight, so I don't need to go over it again, right? But if you have specific questions, we can take some afterwards when we get to the Q&A. Right.
Talking about Bill's perks quickly, there were some reports we've seen on Steam and Reddit this morning about some either inconsistencies with the perks or things like that. We're actually looking into the issues right now and expect something to come your way soon that should resolve the inconsistencies, and then you'll know what is the exact intended design for the perk, especially with borrowed time, I think, which was the most difficult one to nail down properly.
All right. So next part is actually the patch notes. So we'll go over what have changed with the content for Left 4 Dead. You go, Steph.
Awesome. On the left side, obviously all the added content for the Left 4 Dead that we've just discussed about.
We'll talk about that.
On the right side of the screen, I'll go through the issues one by one, basically. There's a thematic in that our level designers spent a bit of time to fix some issues with unpassable areas or hatch placement or things like that in the maps. There's a few that are not necessarily mentioned, but a few of these items come in this list. Fixed an issue causing killers to be unable to do a totem interrupt. That's a good addition that you'd expect to have. Fixed an issue causing killers to lose pips if all survivors leave the game while loading into the match. We know that's just covering an edge case that's not necessarily mentioned often, and that you guys are mostly concerned about the other side of the medal, where killers leaving might cause players to lose pips and items. We're still investigating the issue right now. We're not necessarily reproducing it 100% of the time, but we'll keep digging to find out exactly why that happens and why it and how we can fix it. Fixed an issue causing Kill Your Friend spectator to be unable to see the nurse's blink marker when using the plaid flannel add-on. Nothing to say about that really. Fixed an issue causing the Kill Your Friend spectator to see an extra survivor tick, the UI marker at the bottom of the screen, for themselves when switching roles. We had a quick chat about this with Sarah yesterday. Once we sort of introduced the concept of a spectator in the Kill Your Friends mode, a lot of the behavior of the ticks started not really matching with the players who were in the game. This partially addresses the issue, but it's still not necessarily as perfect as it was before. Fixed an issue causing an impassable area between Carpile and Crane Landmark in the Gas Heaven map. Fixed an issue causing some players to be stuck with an empty Shrine of Secrets that would only refresh in a very large number of days. For this, basically, there was a potential that if you launched the game while the data from the next shrine wasn't actually ready at a certain time, the game would basically save that data on your personal save game, and it would never update once the actual shrine data would come in later. We fixed the issue so that at any point in time, if whatever you have locally is different from the updated game data, we'll force it to be pushed on your save game instead. So that should not happen. Please report if it still happens to particular people. We'll try and track that specifically with you guys. Fixed an issue causing survivor wrists to twist unnaturally when opening a chest. Fixed an issue causing the sprint burst perk to activate while crouching or in a crawl state. Simply changing sprint burst to be what it's meant to be. Fixed an issue causing the nurse to be unable to blink into the basement in the Gas Heaven map. Fixed an issue causing the Wraith to have no terror radius when spamming the cloak button. I think that's going to be a good fix for community, something that's definitely a big problem with the game, obviously. Fixed an issue causing the hatch to sometimes spawn in an accessible location in Backwater Swamp map. Fixed an issue causing the map item to show fully repaired generator and sabotage bear trap highlights when being used. Two similar things with different gameplay objects. Fixed an issue causing the mist to appear black in the backwater swamp map when an offering was used to increase the fog, so that was fixed. Then fixed an issue causing the spark VFX from damaging generators to persist after either a survivor would get repaired with a toolbox or all the generators would be automatically completed from the 5 required generators to be activated. Fixed an issue causing the status effect icons to not appear in the HUD for spectators. Fixed an issue that allowed the nurse to get points when hitting hooked survivor after a blink, clearly an easy to abuse functionality. And fixed the probability of a certain chest spawning in the Gas Heaven map, which ties back to what I mentioned at the beginning. A lot of time was spent to fix up a lot of various minor issues across the maps, and the chest and the unpassable areas is the kind of stuff we go back and often revisit to make sure all maps are working as best as we can.
Does this mean that we put zero effort on important issues?
Absolutely nothing. Yeah. No, realistically, all of these things are all changes that we've done over the past couple of weeks or even up to a month. We've just been able to pick changes from the root for a very long time. I think it more or less transitions us into the next phase, which is let's talk about the burning issues that you guys have brought up and that are sort of always recurring on the forums and on this stream. One of the first things that's mentioned super often recently, but even in the past couple of months, is the Survive with Friends queue time. We've had a test with the moderators this morning trying to figure out what was wrong with it exactly. We're trying to just get a little more analytics data to figure out where things are going wrong. We don't exactly know how and why it happened because the matchmaking part of the code did not really change at all in the past 3 to 4 months really. But we definitely know as far as the player reports are concerned, it's a lot more frequent that we get players saying we can't get into a game for multiple hours even with just 2 of us in a Survive with Friends queue. So we're currently working on adding more data in the game to be able to track the issue. And as soon as that's available and tested, we'll push updates live to track the problem. We'll probably use our mods and some players to get more information on the issue. That's for Survive with Friends in the short term. In the long term, we're also working on a backend solution that you've probably heard about many times in the past, where the matchmaking will be handled by the backend instead, so that Survive with Friends and solo queue players will basically put in the same list, and they'll be treated in the exact same priority. Whereas right now, it's a little more complex to handle these 2 different cases, so we definitely see how it can be more difficult for a Survive with Friends group to make it into a game in comparison to a solo queue player. We are looking into making the issue better for you in the future, however. Near future, that is. Second point is, let's drink some water.
What are you laughing about?
Oh, someone just said I look so sad. I'm not sad.
We'll get onto the UI part. We'll be all very excited. Performance is also a recurring thing that's getting brought up on the stream often and on the forums. We're currently right now looking into optimizing the shadows that are costing a lot of the frame on the GPU time. It's not necessarily the problem for everyone. We're starting with that. As soon as we have something ready, we'll push that live. Just to give you approximate numbers, usually we're aiming for 30 milliseconds for a frame. And if the killer is in proximity, and depending on what's around the player at that moment, like if the basement is around and there's a lot of complex geometry around, the killer light, which is like the red thing you see on the floor in front of the killer, would account for approximately 7 milliseconds out of those 30 milliseconds. So it's basically eating 25% of the frame, almost. Right now we have a programmer on the floor working on that, and he was able to reduce that to approximately between 2 to 4 milliseconds, so basically cutting it in half. That's certainly going to help some players, and we're going to keep on investigating what we can do in terms of performance and looking at reports from specific players for that.
Thank you for a much smarter reply than we usually can get.
It's a pleasure. Next burning issue on the list, cannot start the game. This is something that's a little more difficult for us to help. We're looking into doing right now is figuring out a way to help you guys resolve the issues that you're encountering locally. There's a few different issues that can happen. I would say that the large majority of the issues are because of missing DLLs in Windows, because since we've changed the engine to Unreal 4.13, we're compiling with a more recent version of the toolset, which requires obviously a new set of DLLs to run properly. Unfortunately, it seems like the installation support from Windows isn't the best and doesn't actually install the DLLs like it should. It should just be a question of making sure you have the DLLs locally. However you do that, we're trying to write a guide to help you guys figure out how to do that if Windows won't do it properly for you. We'll share it on the forums as soon as we have something ready for this. Another part of the issues we've seen sometimes is with EAC basically being unable to launch into the game. For anything EAC related, I would suggest the best thing is probably to communicate directly and enter a ticket support to them directly. They will communicate with you and ask for additional logs and information so that they can track the issue and let you back into the game. So unfortunately, I don't have really anything explicit to appease this point right now for those of you who cannot start the game. Know that if you dig a little more, you might be able to find some information on your end to figure it out. In the meanwhile, we're still trying to write something with a list of clear steps that can help you do that. But it seems like there's a lot of different issues at different layers, which makes it a little more difficult to write a guide that's going to satisfy everyone into actually being able to launch the game. I think that is all.
It's great. It's all for burning issues. I mean, most important burning issues, anyways. Shall we do the work in progress?
Sure.
All right.
Before that, though, there were two questions that popped up
Really?
that I caught.
All right.
Some folks are wondering how they can join the Dead by Daylight community.
Well, that should be easy enough. You can go through the website, the Steam via web, or directly on Steam. Go to the Dead by Daylight page. Go to Community, and then there is a button. I think it's on the top right corner that says Join, and you click that button, and you'll be part of the group. If you don't see the button, you might already be part of the group.
Welcome.
Second question. If I buy Left 4 Dead now, can I get the cool red shirts?
Of course. I am 99% sure.
Yes, absolutely you can. And
All
it's,
right.
if you haven't bought it, it's
Cool.
probably now or never.
It's Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2.
Correct.
You don't need both.
Either
It's just,
or.
yeah, you choose. Choose the one you want.
Cool.
But you could get both too. They're great games.
All right.
That's it?
Is it
Okay.
time?
Oh,
Do-
she's
do I get
she's
to
not
talk
sad.
now?
Then.
I think so. Well, maybe just wait a minute.
Oh, God.
Because I want to say something. In work in progress, we usually talk about what's in progress, and I know that a lot of you out there are asking for when are we going to get a new killer. Some of you might have seen achievements pop up recently, so yes, it is a thing. Like we've said last week, we are working on a new chapter at the moment. So yes, there is a new killer coming. We don't have a date or anything, and we won't talk about it today. It is forbidden, but we should talk about it
I think
soonish.
there's an achievement for the left knee.
Yeah,
And one
and
for
then
the right knee.
And then there's a third achievement that might be knee related or not.
We're still looking into it.
Okay. Other work in progress, which is also something that you will be able to see at PAX if you go play on the PS4 version, are the new menus.
Yes.
Please take it away.
Yes.
It should be simple, like take a flight to Boston,
Easy
get a
peasy.
ticket, should be easy,
Easy
go play
peasy.
DBD.
Right. So, as has been mentioned several times, we're working on new UI for our console release. I should mention that it is exciting. The changes that we make for the console will, in fact, also be on the PC as well. So, you PC keyboard people are going to see some changes. All right. Let's blow it up. Okay, I feel like we have to duck here.
Let's
There we go.
disappear. There we go.
Yeah. So this is the new main menu where you would select what role you would play. Kill your friends, survive with friends, etc., etc. Because consoles require different input, but we wanted to maintain some similarity in the interactions between the PC and console versions. We've gone with a free cursor style. So this means the UI is going to behave a lot like the mouse and keyboard sort of cursor style stuff. That meant that our text buttons had to change and become easier to hit. So this is where we're headed.
I like it.
So this next one's a little funny for me. About 3 months ago, there was a fellow on Reddit who posted some suggestions about how the UI, how he had some improvements he thought that we could make to the UI. And I sent him this sort of lame kind of, oh, thanks for your feedback, that's, good work kind of response. But what I really wanted to say was, fucking yeah, you nailed it! Because that's exactly what we've been working on. Caboose Nor, fist bump, buddy. You got it. So with this, you will no longer need to open and close the menu. Tabs will be permanently glued to the side of the screen. Opening and closing tabs, you just click it again and it'll close. This allows us to make things a little more fluid for you guys.
Faster.
Yeah, way faster. Because we don't have to wait for the animation to play anymore. Next.
I think we should part of that one at some point.
Yeah. This is just sort of the sequence of it. So in this case, we've basically combined the loadout and inventory. So you won't have to page through all of your inventory anymore to find out specifically which ones you've selected already, because it's displayed right above it. So yeah. So with console stuff comes a whole bunch of new settings. Some of these have been requested for a while.
Oh my god.
Looking at you, VSync. So not all of these will be available on the console, but for the PC build, you'll see all these extra bells and whistles. Next screen. To harmonize stuff for the console, we had to reduce the number of tabs in our screens, so our control setup has been merged between consoles, controller and mouse and keyboard.
Well, interesting thing about controls, we're also looking into that it's going to take more time than just changing the menu, but we're looking into separating actions into more buttons if you would like to do this. See, that's also something that you guys requested quite a bit, and yeah, it makes sense to have it ready for you. Oh, that's it? Do we have another one?
No, that's
okay. Do you have something else to say about this?
Well,
Cut you.
Yeah, I know. There was one more little thing that I didn't have mocked up for you guys because we're still sort of figuring out the specifics of it. But as a part of our pass to reduce the number of clicks and things that you have to make for a controller, we're making it so that when you join a lobby, the nameplates above your head are displayed by default, so you don't have to hover over someone in order to find out who they are. Small fix.
Yeah. Some questions. I have to buy DVD for PS4 if I have it on PC. Yes. It's another game. You will have to buy it again if you want it again. Can we use mouse and keyboard on the console version? No. There it has been said.
Sorry.
Yeah. Some other questions we cannot answer at the moment. It's going to be its secret. All right, thank you. So any other things in there? Oh yeah, we could talk about this. Well, obviously in the work in progress, we're still fixing and balancing the game. You want to add something about that? Any issues that we're working on right now we can talk about?
Trying to think.
Scratch marks?
Scratch marks is one thing that's going to come back in the bottom part, which we're still trying to get more info on. We know the behavior seems to have changed since the update to 1.4.0 in February. We're still trying to figure out what changed and how it changed exactly.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Yes.
Yeah, that is changing. The blood web. You're talking about perk rarity, I guess, right?
I
Yeah,
am
you wanna-
indeed.
Yeah, so we're revisiting that right now. It's in design and QA back again, and we're trying to push a new change with the exact intended design that is equal possibilities, or there's still a range
No,
of
there
disparity.
it's different odds, but the first pass, well, that first balance pass for the perks to allow to have common was a bit too drastic, and that's why commons would always come first, and that's really annoying. So we've balanced that out, so that should be more pleasant now. So you'll have chance to have a very rare, even though you don't have all the rares, for example. Will we be able to push that one easily?
Yes, we're
That's
looking
great.
into pushing it soon.
Soon.
But it's like soon. It's good.
Soon. Soon.
Like
It's good
for
soon. I don't
realsies
know.
soon?
I
For
don't know.
realsies.
No, I'm not gonna go there.
No. Okay. What else? Oh, yes. One that comes back quite often is the different FOV for the killer. If you want to answer that one too.
That is one we sort of looked at. We know there's definitely a difference between the 1.4.0 update and previously. I want to make it clear that it should not be looked at as an FOV change, more so than a camera positioning relatively to the killer. We're trying to figure out what changed exactly to cause the camera to move forward by a few centimeters or something, and we'll try and see how we can address the issue. It's still a little vague right now. We don't exactly know what and how it happened, and we've been playing on that build for such a long time that it's sort of difficult to figure out where it broke in the transition to the updated engine. But it's something we're aware about and we're trying to look into.
Good. Obviously, looking into queue time. You talked about that already. So that's all in work in progress. Obviously. We're also working on a status system. I think I've talked about. We don't have images about that, right? We should brought images.
I should have.
Should've.
Let you down.
Should have.
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
Should ask for Bucket to put more images.
Oh, I don't think Bucket's listening.
Let's see if. Who else could give us that? Andrea?
No.
It's on your machine.
Yeah.
God damn.
I know.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. So, status system is a UI system that will be used to give you clear indication on what you are suffering or what bonus you have on your character right now. So, since release, we've been using the perk section.
I would say abusing more than using, but it's fine.
Yes. So, you have your 4 perks that are equipped there, and for anything, any kind of feedback we needed, like a timer, is it on, is it off, are you affected by someone else's add-on, everything would appear there as a perk, and it was unclear, and there's so many add-ons and so many perks, if you don't know them all, it gets confusing, especially for a new player. So the status system is exactly for that problem, so there will be far less categories, so things that can happen to you from these perks and add-on are going to be shown to you in a very clear way. Is it positive? Is it negative? And what's the time? How much time it's going to be there? So yeah, working on that at the moment. We've seen the first pass actually. I played this morning and I
played with it this morning too.
It's pretty clear. It's pretty cool.
It's super cool because it means that you don't have to memorize what individual add-ons and perks that you may never have seen as players because you've never played that character do. You just need to know I'm better or worse at healing now, before.
It'll boil down to
Yeah.
like maybe 8 frequent ones, and then it will go up to a little more than that. But at least you don't need to know the
Yes.
60 potential
Yes.
perk icons that could
Exactly.
appear in your,
And the interesting thing about it too is that since we are talking about status, it's a new value that we have to balance the game out and to play with different perks and abilities. So one thing that's going to change with the system is the status that is called exhaustion. So this is going to change perks that are based off movement, for example, sprint bursts or balance landing or some other perk that I cannot talk about. So all of these things that could be used together, like stacked in some way, we won't be able to do it as easily now. So when you use sprint burst, you get exhausted, and all the perks that cannot be used while exhausted cannot be used. Things like that. So maybe next week we can show the screen and
Yeah.
more practical uses of
For
it.
sure.
Oh, and last but not least, what is actually what I you need to remind me?
Yes, Dave, don't forget.
Yes.
Dave. The thing.
So, in the PAX build, there is a new mechanic that we want to test out. It's just fun that it's going to be at PAX. It's going to be in a PTV as well.
There's actually 2.
Yeah,
Let's start
you're
with
right.
this one. Let's start.
Yeah, let's start with that one. So let's call it the weekend status for now. So this is a big one. So you can start commenting on that right away. What?
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
So here we go. So the mechanic is a game changer, obviously. Survivors will only be able to heal themselves fully one time.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I just let some time
Just
so that
one.
everybody process the information because this is a big one. So someone asked.
Crazy.
It is pretty crazy, and we're playing with that. We've been playing with it for quite some time now, and I love it.
Yeah.
Everyone on the team. Some at first were like, "Are you crazy? What the hell?" But it actually brings a lot of balance into the game. One of the big thing that doesn't work for me right now on the Survivor side of things, or actually anywhere, is that there are some ways to play indefinitely with something. So for example, right now, it's possible to heal yourself forever, which doesn't make sense in my mind for a survival horror game, for an horror game. So let me repeat that mechanic again. So you're LT, you're either LT, injured, or dying, right? So as soon as you get down from healthy and you get healed to healthy once, you get the weakened status, meaning that the next time you go to injured, it's going to be impossible to get back to LT again.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Said.
Changes the pacing of the game.
Absolutely.
It's good.
Well, it means that actions have consequences for some builds that they didn't have before.
Yeah. It also switches power in perks. Perks that are used while injured becomes that more interesting.
Yes.
Other that are healing centric become less interesting. Obviously, you can still. You can heal others from dying to injured forever.
Yes.
There's no problem in that part. So is this a real thing? Maybe not. I like this mechanic. On the team it's very positive with the mechanic, but I still want you guys to be able to try it out and comment on it. But yeah, that's it. I think it's really exciting. What's the other one?
The other one is the unhooking from multiple directions.
Explain it.
That's complicated. So we've added, it's very work in progress right now, but we've added the potential for a survivor to unhook another survivor from the hook, not only from the direct front orientation, but from basically a 180 degree around the hook. So if a killer is standing right in front of the hook, you'll still be able to unhook a survivor from any sides next to the killer. It's still, as I mentioned very early, for those of you who see it at PAX will probably feel it looks awesome. But we're mostly trying to see how it actually changes the dynamics around direct face camping and similar cases.
Well, some people are talking about like maybe the weekend status don't happen at the first time, and that's definitely something that we can balance out. It's one value that we add. We could say like you have 3 lives, but I feel like just the one is doing the most impact. Like it's the best feeling actually. It adds a lot of stress in the game when you know that you have only that one chance. When you see all your teammates in the HUD that gets like the broken bone icon that says that they are in that state, you're like, okay, now we need to get our shit together and get out of here.
You actually feel pretty good when you get out with all the broken bone people with you, and you're still clean, and your little icon is not is untouched and fully
being
healed.
untouched.
Unblemished.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very interesting one. Anyways, what else do we have? We have other things. We have so many other things. Should we take a break with fan art? Maybe? Is it time?
Fan art.
Fan art.
Let's take some fun art.
There's also a couple things that we've talked about that'll come like way down the road in terms of UI stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about those.
Like what?
Help screen.
Yeah.
Tutorial.
Yes. Well,
learning.
maybe when we have something to show.
Okay.
Sure. For another time.
I don't know.
Denied.
See, I want to show stuff. And
Yeah, well, next week. Next week we'll show some stuff. All right, so let's go with. I need to get my folder ready because I want to know who did this. All right, let's go. Oh, we shouldn't be
Hide
on the
us.
screen.
Yeah, no one needs to see our ugly mugs.
So I'm terribly sorry if I don't have the right name of the artist. We've tried our best. So Anarcho should be the artist of that one, even though the name on the bottom of the screen is not the same. Anyways, Injured Meg, dreadful, but good art. This one is called And Then Honeymoon Happened. And this one is by Nick 666-100. 666 was not available anymore, so he had to add some numbers at the end. Next. This one is called Another Pinup I Made for a Stream.
Oh no!
Yes. Deviousness. This one is by Neocranium. Next one, please. This one is cool.
It's cute.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it is. The hillbilly is always so happy to chainsaw people down. This one is from Dal Segno. Next one, I'm pretty sure we already showed it, but it's so good I decided to show it again. From Akusuru. Very nice. I don't know what that is, but it's called Hi. And it's by Anatonicum.
Well, that's amazing.
Next one, please. This one is from Holy, and I don't know what they're looking at.
Well, it's
Oh,
a
they
little
have
hard
different
to see,
ranks.
but
I
yeah.
just saw the ranks. I get it. Yes. Yes, Meg. Yes. Next one. This one's from Johnny. Mean Rate.
I like it. There's a little Castlevania or something
Yeah.
else to
Oh,
it. So.
you're right. I see it too. I like it. Yeah, this one is called Maniac. I am definitely tired of your shit. By Oh My God, What the Fuck Barbecue 9. Oh My God, What the Fuck Barbecue was already taken. Yes. This is not gonna happen. Maybe a crossover with Battlefield or
The
something.
smoke,
Maybe.
the cigarette appeared before
Yes.
Bill made it.
Yeah, right. This one I like a lot. Is from Maru Mara. Very cool. Next one, Murder Pals by Qkey. I don't know if the rate's kind of annoyed or shy. I'm not sure. And last one, Nia that tries the new toque. Bjorn is like, what is that? No, that's it. That's it. We stop there. Okay, and this one is by Ghoul There you go. That's it. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. And what else do we have? Okay. So we have 15 minutes left. We haven't done any Q&A. I have other things I'd like to talk about, but let's do Q&A because, come on, this is about question. So if you find any on the, actually, you know what? We have some from the Twitch right here. Our mods prepared some question for us.
Cool.
Okay, so from RG1567 on Twitch, is the Dead by Daylight universe now connected to the one from Left 4 Dead? Yes, so the entity can appear right in the world and can go take some people and bring them in his world. And we know that this can be in any time, and now we know that it can also be in any universe or parallel universe. So anything goes for the entity, it can go anywhere.
You've opened quite a few doors there.
Yeah.
Well done, Dave.
Yeah. Unshine Effect from Twitch is asking, are you reconsidering the current balancing state of the game? Survivors have reached a climax in their power now. Are we reconsidering? Yes, we are reconsidering every day. We have dedicated people to looking into the balance of the live game. Will it change? Yes, we will make changes. We just talked about a mechanic that is a huge difference for survivors and will change the balance. So yes, the short answer is yes. Yes. Do I feel the survivor have reached some sort of climax? I think so. They're in a good place. Yes. Do you have a question on your side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I only got one, and I didn't really catch your name. Blocks and then some letters. Wanted to know if we're aware of the bug where things on the match results for perks and offerings don't show up. Yeah, we're aware of that bug. It's proving a little hard for us to track down, but it's definitely one of our big ones.
Answered it well.
Yeah.
It's a recurring thing.
Yeah, I don't like it. Vexes me.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, some question for from Steam 2. Haliex is asking 3 questions actually, but I'm just gonna take one. How will you treat Survive with Friend in the new league system? This is a very good question. So we're not there yet into testing our system. Not there at all. It's step by step. But I feel like there's going to be specifics about Survive with Friends on how killers are going to be matched with this group. And also, because we will consider the difference in ranking or in leagues of the group and the killer, not in Survive with Friends specifically, in all ranked matches, there's going to be compensations for facing higher tiered players. I hope this was clear. Was this clear? Kinda? Okay.
Kinda.
Skork WB is asking, what about hiding killer perks until all survivor left or died, so Survive with Friend groups can tell their mates what perks the killer is using after one of them was killed?
Yes.
Yes, we should do that. We have it in our list of things to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Makes complete sense.
Yeah.
There's no way to.
No. What do you want then? It's not the time. There's a lot of questions on when things are coming. We don't have the answers for when. When it's coming soon, or it's in our top priority, we talk about it on the stream. So that's a good hint on what's coming. Moritz is asking, will there be Polish language implemented into the game? Producer guy?
I think we've discussed a bit languages in the past. Polish specifically is not in the plans right now in the short term, but we're never turning down an opportunity to support an additional community and language in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So do make sure to bring that up on the forums and make it obvious that the Polish community is actually something large enough so that we can support it, and we'll be looking into potentially doing this at some point in the future.
Mm-hmm. Bianca has set up a section in the non-English conversations part of our Steam forums for people who want to have the game translated in their language. So if you make a post there, it'll get picked up and we'll be able to track it.
A Thai name, that's not an actual name, but I cannot read the name, asked the question, would you mind adding developer comments each time you release a balance change, so the community can know why you released the change and what you expect to get from it? We would love that. We're taking steps right now to have a chance to be part of the community more, but it's going to take a little while still. So working with the community and in the community and being able to create all this content within the community takes a lot of time, and we already have a lot of work.
So this is basically where we want to end up, what is suggested.
Yes.
We're going to take steps one at a time to see what we can achieve. I think yesterday's AMA on Reddit and Steam went fairly well. They were pretty unannounced and such, which we're going to try to remedy in the future. But we've had a pretty decent participation, and I think we'll try to do as much as we can as far as interaction with community is concerned in the future, especially when it's tied to patches and updates directly like that, when it's all fresh in everyone's head what changed with the game and why we made some changes and why we didn't make other changes. We're certainly open to discussing this with you guys.
Kuro Shade 2010 has a question. I've seen it pop before too from others. Are we ever going to be able to change perks, outfit, / go into the blood web when we ready up and have nothing to do while waiting for matches, or even while trying to connect? That's I'm adding, connect to a lobby.
Yeah, I've actually talked to the programmers who would help out with this. It's a little tricky because we have a lockout timer right now when the timer hits 5 seconds and starts to count down. This is mostly just to make sure that any interactions you do in your inventory or blood web are safe from when you end up in a match, so that you don't buy something on the blood web and then it doesn't actually buy it because you've been whisked off to your game. The side effect of that is that we do something similar when you're with Survive with Friends, when you're waiting to join the killer lobby. And
even as a solo queue player, basically.
Yeah, it can
which is
happen
more or
as
less
well.
the same idea. When you're searching for a game, you're more or less always in a state where in any 5 seconds from now you could be transitioned into a game, but we don't necessarily know that.
Yeah.
So the easy way to control that from our perspective is to simply lock out everything. Obviously, it's not the best user experience, and we'll see if we can revisit that, giving you guys something to do and at least look at in the game while you're doing that is certainly better than not being able to do anything.
Exactly.
It's more of a potential for a lot of issues that are going to be difficult to track, and some basically that where we don't necessarily want to take the risk right now to do that, but it's something we're not closing the door to in the future.
Oh, I don't know there. Someone asked a question about the firecracker contest. So Paul is handling that, and he's currently at PAX, so there's going to be a little delay on the announcement on who won and who gets a exclusive customization out of that contest.
Thanks a lot for the participation.
Yeah, it was cool.
Pretty insane. A bit long to go through them all.
Yeah,
but
there's quite a few that made us laugh or were
lots of
really
creative uses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also a lot of lens flares and blasting of light, but it's good.
We should probably make a big images of all of our favorite and just post it somewhere. It was really cool. I have one. You mentioned a Shadowborn. Alex is asking. You mentioned a Shadowborn change. Will that be a buff or nerf, and by how much? So the way it's gonna work, it's a slight buff, but really, it's so the way it's gonna work is that it's gonna mirror Lightborn completely, and Lightborn is gonna change as well. And the thing is that the time it takes to get blinded is going to be reduced. So what I mean is you're going to be more resistant to the flashlight. That made no sense. Let me start again. I will read it for you.
Want me to read it for them?
No, I can do
What do
it.
you think of the answer?
I can do it. So highly sensitive to light, you get blinded 50% faster than normal and take 25%, 50%, or 75% more time to recover from this condition. So this is the one that is currently in there. And the change is highly sensitive to light. You get blinded 20, 25, or 30% faster than normal and take 50%, 50% more time to recover from this condition. So this is how we change the thing. And Lightborn is slightly different as well. And this should come in a balance perk change. I don't know when we can actually push it out. But eventually, that's the new soon. Eventually,
It probably means that soon's going to come before eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
I can tell you that.
All right. So there's not a lot of time. We couldn't answer a lot of questions. Sorry about that, but we'll keep them for next week if they're still relevant, because we need to repeat all the news. And also, I wanted to talk to you about something pretty cool. So we will be having a poll. Do I say this
Poll.
correctly?
Poll.
Poll. Thank you.
Paul, not Paul.
Not Paul.
Paul is at PAX.
Poll.
We're having a poll.
For the creation of killer skins, customization, basically. So we want you to
And this is for
participate.
existing character.
For existing
Existing
characters.
killers.
Yes, so existing characters, existing killers. We will have outfits for all of them be made, but we would like you to participate into that creation by voting on, which one you're most interested in. If you want to comment on how it's going to look, so we're going to share a little bit of the process with you guys on all communities. So on Steam, on Reddit, we'll post everywhere. There's probably going to be the poll itself is probably going to be part of our website. But anyway, we're not ready for this. I just wanted to put it out there so that you know it's going to happen. So this should be pretty cool to look at.
It's super exciting. Another thing in the direction of including the community more and engaging them into what's happening with the game directly.
Right. Repeating the news. So PAX East is this weekend, starting tomorrow. If you get there, you can play the console version, the PS4 version, and try the weekend mechanic that's in there. The new hook that can be used any side. There's all the new menus in there with full controller support. There is a Korean event this weekend too called Twitch Horror Weekend with Dead by Daylight. And obviously we just released the Left 4 Dead content, so please be crazy and play with it. And
Hello, Bill.
thank you to our mods. Thank you to Bjorn. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. If you're not already following, please do, so you know the next time we come in. That's it.
Like
Good,
that.
yeah, no?
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, guys.